Right, so hopefully that will show up. So you can see it now, hopefully. Let me make it so it's all on the same page that you can see. So I'll make it slightly smaller. Yeah, I don't know whether obviously this is new to you, Ahmed, so I won't expect you necessarily to comment on it, but feel free, anybody that wants to assume.
I think Sam asked for figures to compare it with the previous figures that we had at the last meeting. Obviously, we've got them two as separate rather than next to each other to compare them. So it'll be very difficult to make comparison without people looking at both of them side by side. But I mean, if you look at the figures we've got for the period 1st of April to the 30th of June, it breaks up the different parts of Southampton and the number of hate crimes recorded. These are recorded hate crimes which have been reported to us. And as I always say on these figures, you got to remember there is an anomaly in the system in the sense that these are ones which have been reported and completed in as far as the investigation. So it may not mean every reported incident or hate crime has actually been completed yet. So they overlap each other from one period to another. I hope I'm making sense. Alex, please jump in if you think I've got it wrong here.
I'll try and put up both, by the way, while you're talking. So hopefully I can get both up on one screen now. Just I found the other one for the earlier quarter, the quarter before. So hopefully you're picking that up now. So it's new to me as it is to everybody, I think. So it's hard to comment too much on it, but feel free if anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, Ian, if you look at both figures now, you've got them up. That looks much better to be able to compare it. For Southampton, for the period 1st of January to the 31st of March this year, compared to from April to June, the reported hate crime have gone up from 219 to 290. So it's quite an increase there over that period between the two. And trying to look at where most of the increase have been. And if you look at it, race, as always, takes the largest proportion of the reported hate crime, but it looks like disability actually has increased from 21 to 47 reported crimes. Likewise, gender identity from 6 to 11. Again, I'm only reading what everybody else can see, but if there are any questions there, I will try to answer from the knowledge I have, but I can't promise you will have the answer you're looking for. As I said, this was supposed to be directly sent to Sam. And I'm not sure whether he has had the chance to discuss it with whoever from our analyst who have sent it to him, because that's where.
The fact that there are more people out and about means that increases the likelihood of all crimes happening, including hate crime. So it could be lockdown. I'm not going to say for definite that it is, but it could be the fact that the relaxation of the rules has meant more people are out and therefore more crimes have happened. But I would be speculating just as much as anyone else.
If I may just come in on the back of that, we hold a quarterly hate crime scrutiny panel, and that is chaired by Dr. Nathan Hall, who is sort of a national expert on hate crime, and he actually reports back to us on the trends in hate crime. And he did say that he obviously the opening up of the nighttime economy after lockdown, because obviously that hasn't been in place with nightclubs, pubs being able to open up again, is likely to be very heavily linked to the increase, as Alex has said, in crimes, but also in hate crime. So I think although the statistics aren't necessarily in existence or to verify that, I think that's certainly the trends that they're seeing is linked to that nighttime economy.
Yeah, I'm sure that's very much the case. I'll go to the two hands. Statistics on their own are only useful in the context of wider things. I guess we'll start to see wider whether there is a particular focus around the west of Southampton or whether that's a blip. Is there anybody else that would like to comment or even bring their own statistics into view?
I think
Parvin's got her hands up.
I think that Southampton West, I go there on and off, and suddenly there is a growth of very multicultural, businesses there, the businesses by the Turkish people, the people from Poland and Romania. You see a lot more multicultural aspects to Shirley than there ever was. And I think this may be because a higher presence of people from other communities that are there who are not white British. And I know that there have been comments in passing somebody has made, and in conversations I've heard while I've been standing somewhere, is why are these people here, kind of comments. But I think it's because there's a higher proportion now. There's much more multicultural effect in Shirley than there ever was.
Yeah,
well, a couple of things I've put in the chat, and it's a subject to some debate, so I'm not wanting to open up the debate, but we are attempting to manage a community cohesion forum, which will sort of look at the social fabric of issues that can pull on how safe or supported communities feel. So that's inclusive of hate crime, of course, but it is on a range of issues, particularly racism and disproportionality in the way statutory services respond to community. So anybody that's interested in joining that, please contact me. Some of you already have actually through the meeting, so that's good to hear. It's not a replacement for the hate crime network. This is a very vital network for us. This is where we get on and do stuff, as Ahmed rightly says, particularly around those issues that individuals or households are experiencing that we want them to know they can be supported with. This is more about the wider social issues in a city, which when I come on to Afghanistan in a minute, will sort of make a good link, I think. So anybody interested in that, please do. We've also recruited a community cohesion officer. So that officer will support this network and will be a little bit of extra capacity to really kind of put our weight behind the work that's going on here, and a range of other things. I won't say who that person is because they're not here, but many of you will know that person, and I'm sure that knowing that will give you some confidence that they're well connected. I'm just going to maneuver between different screens. We're getting a lot of requests for, kind of what's the council's response to the situation in Afghanistan. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that was happening previous to events over the weekend, where obviously things have accelerated at quite a pace, and the levels of worry are now really high. We're acutely aware that communities will be feeling that family members, friends are at risk in Afghanistan. We're aware very much of presentations to a range of services for help and assistance in understanding how family members can be brought over. And we're acutely aware as well of how within the community there will be some worries just in terms of hate crime, but also in terms of support to them. There's a lot that I can't say because it's confidential. It's going on in the background. Things are moving at fast pace. A lot is about what the government response will be that isn't entirely clear all the time. But it's just to let you know that the obvious practical issue of refugees coming into the city and being accommodated in the city, that work is going on. That work was already going on, and it's going on across Hampshire. For obvious reasons, we don't want to be saying where people are going to and where they're going to be coming from and where they're going to be living, because that creates risks for them that we don't want to exacerbate. Obviously, support to people is something we want to look at. So with my colleagues, I've invited Ahmed, a range of others, looking at maybe facilitating some kind of community meeting so that those families, residents, community leaders that are concerned can have some space to come and talk to us, statutory agencies, and we can give as good an update as we can, as well as take on board any of the feedback, even criticism if there is any, to feed in. So that's all I wanted to say. There will be communications about this coming out. We are to some extent beholden to central government and what central government will do or are doing. And I appreciate in saying that. I might be inferring that is good enough or not, but you will all have views about that. I don't have a particular view I'm going to express here. Anyway, we are aware of it. I'm aware as well, I've heard from colleagues that there could be some kind of peace vigil. So that's really important. I think if that happens, that will be something that we will all want to be full square behind and support and attend. So lots going on. So I just thought it was useful for you to know that. I don't know if it's helpful for you to know that, but just a little bit of assurance that if colleagues can reflect that back the people that they're hearing from.
Graham first.
Yeah, Ian, I just wanted to congratulate your group on having all these things arranged. When we're not as advanced as yourselves with that in Basingstoke, it's something we've struggled with, engaging groups at different stages. So this year we've decided to just concentrate on one area, and perhaps would it be helpful if we've just got what our objectives are for our hate crime work group, because that might give a bit of background. So it's to raise awareness of hate crime and hate incidents amongst the whole community, to increase confidence amongst victims to report hate crimes or hate incidences, increase the reporting of hate crime, and to work with young people to educate and challenge attitudes and prejudice. So I'm sure those are aims and objectives that you're very familiar with. And this year we decided to concentrate on trying to work with young people. And with Hate Crime Awareness Week, try and get schools involved. And I did attend a session for the local schools and headmasters and raised that, but no one there unfortunately has come back to me since then. But that's still our goal, very much to do that. And the other thing that occurred to me was particularly during the football finals, European football finals, was that that there was a lot of high-profile sportsmen sort of complaining about racial abuse and hate crime, but hate crime in itself wasn't included in the coverage, and no one actually mentioned anything about it, which I don't know if I just didn't read the right news articles or see the right TV shows, but it just frustrated me. So yeah, I'd be interested in any contacts or any ideas that people have got about how we could engage with schools, or anything that you've done, because that's going to be our main objective for this year.
So going back to National Hate Crime Awareness Week, and any things you're individually doing as members, create some space for you to talk about them now.
I'm happy to go again, Ian.
Please, Beth.
Yeah, so we've got we're working with Hampshire Police and the OPCC's Youth Commission. So we're going to be delivering on the first day of Hate Crime Awareness Week. The police are going to be delivering like a live workshop with our Youth Commission members for a hate crime incident, a mock-up hate crime incident, showing them how the police report hate crime and we investigate it. And then the second day will be, so we'll use get the Youth Commission members to build the case, do the investigating, build the case of this mocked hate incident, and then hate crime, sorry. And then day two will be actually the CPS are going to run a mock trial with the Youth Commission, again assisted by Hampshire Police, just to show to them how we actually prosecute hate crime, how we present evidence at court, the support measures we can offer our victims, and then how the sentencing works, including sentencing uplift. So we're really looking forward to that, because hopefully it'll be quite an immersive event, and because we're going to be delivering them, I think the first day is going to be delivered in Portsmouth at a police station in Portsmouth, and the second day is going to be delivered in the mock court in Portsmouth University. It's not quite Southampton local, but obviously I know the Youth Commission do come from Southampton as well, and covers this area. It will be a nice immersive in-person event, so quite aspirational for us because everything's been done digitally and remotely for a long time, so we're looking forward to doing that. So that's one of our main events. We've got other bits and pieces, other sessions. We're hoping to link in with the Chinese Association of Southampton to do some hate crime sessions with them, because I know that they've been in contact with me to raise concerns about issues that they're having in the community in terms of confidence at the moment. So we'll also be looking to get some of those in place.